Today is a very exciting episode of Prehistoric Playground. Today we're going to be talking about the dinosaur, Brontosaurus, or is it Apatosaurus? Stick around and find out. Hope you have a good time. Apatosaurus was an herbivorous sauropod dinosaur that lived from about 155.7 to 150.8 million years ago, during the Cambrian to the early Devonian stages of the Jurassic period. Apatosaurus was first described by American paleontologist O.C. Marsh in 1877. The term Apatosaurus comes from the Greek words apate, meaning deceptive, and sauro, meaning lizard. Marsh gave this name because some of their bones resembled that of some mosasaurs, which is a type of large aquatic reptile. Apatosaurus fossils have been unearthed in the 9 Mile Quarry and Bone Cabin Quarry of Wyoming, as well as some areas in Colorado, Oklahoma, and Utah. Apatosaurus louisei was named from William Holland in 1915 in honor of Louise Carnegie, wife of Andrew Carnegie, who funded research to find complete dinosaur skeletons in the American West. Apatosaurus louisei is known from one near the complete skeleton, which was found in Utah. In 2008, juvenile footprints of Apatosaurus were found in Quarry 5 in Morrison. Discovered by Matthew Mossbrucker, these footprints indicated that juveniles could run on their hind legs, just like Parasaurolophus could when they ran, which my girlfriend still finds weird. It is believed to be one of the biggest land animals to ever roam the earth. Fossils of Apatosaurus louisei suggest that the dinosaur reached 68 to 74 feet in length. Apatosaurus was estimated to weigh up to 19.8 tons. Like other sauropods, the vertebrae were made up of paired spines, producing a very wide, thick neck. But its neck was not as heavy as it may seem, thanks to a system of air sacs that kept it relatively light for its size. The neck posture and neck flexibility of Apatosaurus and other sauropods is highly debated. Computer models in the 1990s suggested that Apatosaurus had little neck flexibility and probably held its head horizontally, meaning that it was able to eat from the tops of trees and bend its head all the way down to the ground to drink water. A 2009 study suggests that Apatosaurus may have held its head up high, like a swan, in an S-curve to its flexible neck. However, a 2013 study looked at the neck flexibility of ostriches, the closest neck-like sauropod relative, and concluded that previous neck flexibility models, which don't take into account the effect on soft tissues, cannot truly estimate the flexibility of a sauropod's neck. Apatosaurus had legs that were sturdier as not elongated like other sauropods, such as Brachiosaurus, and its hind limbs were larger than its forelimbs. Like most sauropods, Apatosaurus had a single large claw on each forelimb, with the first 3 toes on the hind limb possessing claws. Its tail was long and unusually slim, resembling a bullwhip. A computer model detailed in 1997 Discover magazine article found that the crack of the tail tip, would have produced a cannon-like boom heard for miles. However, the slender tip of an Apatosaurus tail would have probably been able to hurt any predators, negating its use as a weapon. Apatosaurus, like close to its relative, Supersaurus, had unusually tall spines on its vertebrae, which make more than half of the height of the individual bones. The vertebral spines rapidly decrease in height the farther they go from the hips, giving the tail its slender shape. The size, shape, and features of the Apatosaurus head were disputed for more than a century after its remains were first uncovered. Certainty was clouded by the part of the incomplete fossil finds by a suspected mix-up of the first fossils during the shipment of an excavation site. The head was originally mistaken and represented in models like that of Chasmosaurus, with a square sub-nosed skull and spine-like teeth. In 1978, however, scientists rediscovered that a long-lost skull in the basement of Carnegie Museum in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This was the skull that actually belonged to Apatosaurus skeletons. It was slender and elongated, contained long peg-like teeth like those of a diplodocid. While some people outside the scientific community still refer to Apatosaurus as Brontosaurus, the name Brontosaurus was actually the result of a fossil mix-up. American paleontologist O.C. Marsh named one of his fossil discoveries an incomplete set of the remains of a juvenile dinosaur, Apatosaurus ajax, in 1877. Marsh believed that the new find represented an entirely different genus of dinosaur, and decided to name it Brontosaurus excelsius in 1903. Paleontologist Elmer Riggs re-examined Marsh's fossils and concluded that they were similar enough to belong to the same genus, and stated any differences between the two genera were due to growth, and deemed Apatosaurus to be a young Brontosaurus. According to naming conventions, the older name takes precedence, meaning that Brontosaurus had to be classified as Apatosaurus. The name controversy continued to this day. A 2015 study suggested that there are enough differences between the two Apatosaurus specimens that one of them should be in a different genus and reclassified as Brontosaurus. It's believed that Apatosaurus primarily fed on low-lying plants, but its long neck may have enabled the sauropod to eat soft leaves up higher on the trees. If its neck was flexible enough, Apatosaurus likely swallowed large chunks of plants without chewing, and ingested stones to help with digestion, which are called gastroliths, by the way. Like other large sauropods, Apatosaurus probably had to eat up to 880 pounds of food every day just to simply survive. According to a 2008 study in the early 2000s, some of the scientists suggested that Apatosaurus had and other large sauropods got to be so huge because of their food supply. That is, their food was so low in nitrogen, which is necessary for protein formation and energy, that they had to eat a lot to survive, increasing their body size. Subsequent research, which analyzed the total energy of modern plants, discarded this idea. Like the bigger herbivores of today, Apatosaurus probably relied on gut microbes to help them digest plant matter, resulting in the production of greenhouse methane. In a 2012 study, researchers calculated that Apatosaurus and other sauropods produced about 520 million tons of methane per year, which is not so different from the current of methane currently produced by both natural and man-made sources. Much discussion has centered on whether Apatosaurus and related forms were able to support the great bulk on land, or were forced to adopt a more aquatic lifestyle. Many lines of evidence, including skeletal structure and footprints, showed that Apatosaurus and all of the sauropods were terrestrial, like elephants. No skeletal features have any evidence of aquatic existence. An analysis suggests that the dinosaur's bones could easily have supported its great weight. Footprints show that the toes were covered in horny pads like those of elephants. Furthermore, the rib cage was heart-shaped and cross-sections like those of elephants, not barrel-shaped like those of the amphibious hippopotamus. However, Riggs published his examination in a relatively obscure journal, so his findings were largely unknown to the people at the time. Additionally, by this time, the name Brontosaurus had gained a lot of public exposure by the various non-scientific places. For instance, the Sinclair Oil Company used Apatosaurus as its logo. The Flintstones' pet dinosaur, Dino, was described as an Apatosaurus Fred Flintstone was also known to eat Bronto burgers. The U.S. Postal Service even used the name Brontosaurus in 1989 when it issued a series of dinosaur stamps contending that the name was more familiar to the general public than Apatosaurus. Winsor McKay's 1914 classic Gertie the Dinosaur, one of the first animated films featuring McKay's based on his unidentified dinosaur on the Apatosaurus skeleton in the American Museum of Natural History. 1925, the silent film The Lost World featured a battle between a Brontosaurus and an Allosaurus, using special effects by Willis O'Brien. Alright guys, thank you for watching this episode of Prehistoric Playground. If you enjoyed it, please like, feel free to subscribe, comment down below any dinosaurs that you'd like to learn about. My name is Icy Halo, and as always, stay frosty.